So I'd like to welcome you to our discussion session. This is day 3 of the workshop. We have a lot to cover today. We're going to talk about applying explicit forces to cells. People were asking the other day about how you could have cells move with different speeds in different statistical properties. And we're going to hear about that. We're going to hear about chemical fields. We got an introduction to diffusion last time, but today we're going to talk about interaction between fields and cells. And so we're going to have a lecture on secretion and absorption by cells. And we're going to build a simple avascular tumor spheroid model, a 3-layer model with proliferated quiescent and necrotic cells. Show you how to couple chemical fields to uptake and growth. Then we're going to have a short lecture on chemotaxis. And then I'm going to be talking about biochemical network modeling inside of CompuCell. And that'll continue tomorrow as well. As always, these meetings are live streamed and recorded, so please remember that. We thank NIH and NSF for their support over the years. We very much thank our volunteers who are helping us teach this course. There have been a whole series of medical emergencies this year that mean that a number of people who were planning on helping out weren't able to do it. And some for happy medical emergencies, some for less happy medical emergencies. And I appreciate everyone's patience with reorganization of course material a little bit because of that change of personnel. Today we have, again, Gilberto talking about applying forces to cells and 2D and 3D cell migration. This was a topic that was asked about a lot in the past few days. Pedro will talk about secretion and absorption and the avascular tumor spheroid. We'll have a session of lightning talks and hackathon prep. We'll have a talk on coupling cells to fields via chemotaxis, so chemically defined cell movement. You'll notice that there's a little bit of a time shift here. Secretion absorption of the avascular tumor spheroid is a pretty big topic. And we're going to do that in a 1-2-hour session rather than splitting it. And then coupling cells to fields and chemotaxis is actually fairly easy to do, I hope. And so that's going to be a 1-hour session. That means that our lunch break is going to get moved half an hour later today than normal. The antimony modeling is a big topic. We'll get started on it today, and then we will continue with it tomorrow morning. I have 3 hours to work on it. I should say that basically could be easily a whole semester topic. How many people, I don't know, in the room today took, maybe just a show of hands, how many people took Herbert's class 2 weeks ago on antimony modeling? If you did, put your hands up. Maybe. Okay, I know a few people are. Traditionally, we taught those classes either jointly or back to back. Somebody says they took it last year. That's great. So you're familiar with it. So for people who took Herbert's class, we'll have a lightning review of that material. For people who have not seen it before, it'll be new, but it's not that complicated. And it's a critical part of making these multi-scale models expressive and powerful. Tomorrow, we're going to have a set of breakout presentations. And I don't know, Hayden, if you're on the call, you have a slide about what the Zoom sessions are going to be for tomorrow?
I can make one up and present it at the beginning of the hackathon session because we have that settled now. Okay,
great. So tomorrow for the first afternoon session, 4.3, and then again Friday, 5.3, we have a bunch of people who are going to be coming and showing off in more detail some very beautiful CompuCell models in a whole variety of fields. And we're going to try for the first time doing parallel sessions. And that's going to mean that tomorrow for 4.3 and 5.3, just those two, you'll use a different Zoom link. I realize there may be a little bit of logistical issues with that. And Hayden at lunchtime today will walk through how to do that. And we'll review it again Thursday morning to make sure that everybody has the right Zoom links and so on. So I hope that that will work out. We're very grateful to the people who've agreed to speak. We're going to have a lot of really interesting topics. And this is going to be an ability to dig into some more advanced published scientific models and see how they work under the hood and what you can do with them. We still haven't scheduled 5.4, as I mentioned, because of the issue with change of personnel. We're definitely going to use that time, but it's going to be a little bit of a surprise what it is. And we hope that people will find that material interesting. So again, today's schedule, we're going to probably, as usual, run a few minutes late getting started. We're going to start out with Gilberto talking about cell movement and applying forces to cells. He's got some beautiful work on compartmental cells that he'll be showing us, teaching you how to do that. Then we're going to have this slightly longer session on secretion, absorption, and the avascular tumor. Hayden will do the prep session. The lunch break will be pushed back by half an hour. And then we will resume with chemotaxis, which will be a slightly shorter session, and then beginning with antimony network modeling at the end of the day. So the total day will be the same amount of time, but the lunch break is shifted half an hour later. Remind you, as always, the CompuCell webpage, the NanoHub links. Please take a look at those. I will put the links to the previous Zoom, the YouTubes. If you want to watch the previous sessions, I'm going to put those in the chat again. They're the YouTube links for all of the talks so far. They haven't been edited yet, so you may have to do a little bit of digging to get to the beginning of the session, because there'll be some dead air at the beginning. And I'm also going to put the link to the Google Drive for the lectures and the demos for everyone today. Hayden, did you have anything you want to say about the hackathon teaming today?
Nothing specific. I do know that a couple people wanted to present, and I sent out an email about that this morning. So if you'd still like to present today, please either send me a personal message in Zoom or send me a quick email just to let me know that you'd like to be put in the schedule so we can allot enough time.
Is there anyone on the call at the moment who would like to present for the hackathon lightning talks today that has not contacted Hayden directly?
Hi, I'm Norma. I want to.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll make sure that that takes.
And then I know.
Hi, Dr. Glazier. I'm going to present as well. I don't have my slides are not really good because I'm still thinking about it, but I think I can pitch the idea and see where it goes.
That's
Sure.
fine. You're not that you're if everything were finished and you had a finished presentation, you wouldn't need to do the hackathon.
Okay, thank you.
So the only thing is to get the idea together and see if we can have a team. We would like to have a rough idea by the end of tomorrow about the proposed teams.
Okay.
So that we can get a sense of what is likely to work. We're not going to tell people to do something or not do something. The hackathon is completely free in that sense. But for example, if there are two teams that are small, like one or two people that seem to be doing very parallel things, we might suggest people working together.
Okay.
We're not going to force people to work together, but we might suggest that it might be helpful to do that.
Thank you.
Okay. As always, the resources, I put some of the main links in the chat. Is everybody now in the Slack channel? Is there anybody still having Slack problems? Everybody seems to be okay on that. Everybody is, I hope, finally able to get to the NanoHub, okay? Yes. And I hope everyone was able to download and print those quick reference guides. I think they really are helpful for things. One thing that I would recommend, I realize it's hard to do this. And again, that's why I think printing the quick reference guides is useful. It's hard to, and also that modeling methodology paper that we sent out, I think is useful to print. I know it's hard to refer to the manuals when you're also trying to look at the talks, and you also have NanoHub up on your screen. Really, you need to have 4 screens on your desk to make this work as well as possible. So I understand that the manuals are hard to reference, but they're pretty good. They're not perfect, but they're pretty good. Somebody caught a typo in the manual yesterday when Pedro was presenting. It's been fixed. I hope you could check. Thank you for catching that. If you find things in the manual that are unclear, we really recommend using the manuals. They're there for that reason. They're not perfect. This is a volunteer project. If you find errors in the manual or the things that should be added, please let us know. And similarly, the demo programs that are packaged with CompuCell, we ran one of them at the very beginning of the workshop. Those demo programs are not always as organized as they could be. They should work. If you run them and they crash, let us know. If you look at them and you think that they could be improved, let us know. If there are demos that you think we need that aren't there, let us know. We do have mechanisms to improve things, and your feedback is critical in helping us do that. Are there any other general questions to address before we get started with the main workshop today? Okay, I will end just by looking at our list of people. We have our instructors, and again, there have been some changes to this list at the last minute because of medical issues. But we appreciate everybody who's participating.